Today I'm going to show you how to make the softest fluffy cinnamon rolls. While they are still warm, we are going to pour over a cream cheese vanilla icing. Oh, those two together, go together. Y'all ready? Come on into my kitchen and let's measure out some ingredients. In a large mixing bowl, we're going to place 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to go in with my measuring cup, overfill it, take the back edge of a knife and even it out, going across the top. Should look like that. When you're baking, you always want to be precise. And I've got a 1/4 cup here, so I'll do 3 of these. Now I'm not sifting the flour. There we go. I like the big containers for the flour, and I like the long measuring cups that go in to fill that up. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar. It's going to even that out. Push that right in the center. Half a teaspoon of salt. I had a 1/4 teaspoon. And let's talk about our yeast. I'm using an active dry yeast, and we're going to put in 2 1/4 teaspoons or 1 packet of yeast. And then 1/4. It's 2 1/4. I'm going to take a whisk and we're going to blend this all together. Now when you whisk your flour and the ingredients, it kind of aerates the flour and it's like sifting the flour. Okay? We're going to set this aside and then we're going to start our wet ingredients. We're going to heat our liquids up on the stovetop over a medium heat. I'm just using a medium saucepan. I'm going to add 3/4 cup of milk. I have 3 tablespoons of butter, and I just broke it up into pieces to help melt it quicker. Then we're going to melt this butter down into the milk, and we're going to cool it down to 110 degrees. We're going to continually stir the butter into the milk until it melts, and then we're going to turn off the burner. Make sure you keep an eye on it, because milk will tend to boil over the edges of your pot, and you don't want that to happen. We're going to turn off the burner. I'm going to pour this back into my measuring cup. I'm going to let this sit for 3 to 4 minutes. We're looking for the temperature to get about 110 degrees. So it'll be warm to the touch. Just stir it every so often. Then put your thermometer in. And when it reaches 110 degrees, it's good to go. Okay, it's warm to the touch, which is good. It's about 115 degrees, so we're going to go ahead and work with that. I had poured the milk mixture into a smaller bowl just to kind of take the heat off the edges of the dish there, because we still want this warm because it'll activate the yeast. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to crack an egg into a small dish. I'm going to beat it up. I'm going to add just a little bit of the milk mixture, just a little bit, a couple of tablespoons. Mix that in. What that will do is temper the egg so we don't scramble it. Just like that. I'm going to add it to our milk mixture back in. Give that a mix. And then we're going to pour this into the flour mixture and stir that up. Move this off to the side. I'm just going to create a well in the flour, and I'm going to pour the milk mixture into it. There we go. Just going to take a wooden spoon and I'm going to start incorporating the flour into the milk mixture slowly until we get it all combined. And then we're looking for a dough. I just pull it from the bottom and then just flatten it into any excess flour. And then just keep going till we have a uniform shaped ball of dough. All right, that looks good. What we're going to do now is I'm going to go to a clean work surface and I'm going to sprinkle some flour on it. Spread it around. Then we're going to put the dough on it. We're going to flour our hands. We're just going to knead the dough for about 5 minutes. Just use the palms of your hands and just kind of push into the dough. And then you're going to turn it, fold it, and then do that. Make sure your hands are floured. And then just keep going. Just fold in the sides. It's not hard to do. You're not pushing really hard. Just using the palms of your hands. You only want to work with about 1/4 cup of flour up to that amount, no more than that. So if you feel at the 3-minute or the 4-minute mark that you have a nice ball of dough, then we're good to go. That's what we're looking for right there. I'm just going to take a medium-sized bowl and just put in very little bit of some oil, cooking oil, and I'm going to coat the whole bowl with it. And then we're going to place our ball of dough into the center of the bowl. We're going to swirl it around until the whole thing is coated with the oil. There we go. We're going to cover it with some plastic wrap. I'm going to place a kitchen towel over that plastic wrap. We're going to place this in a nice warm place. I generally find that if I put this in my microwave, just close the door, don't turn it on, and just rest it in there. Turns out just fine. We're going to let it rise for about 20 to 30 minutes until it's double in size. We have our dough. It's about doubled in size. What I'm going to do is remove it from the bowl. I'm going to place it onto a clean work surface. I'm just using a sill mat right here, and it's pretty large, so I can actually do a lot of rolling on here. Now, I'm not going to put any flour on here. So we're going to roll this out. So I'm looking for about 8 inches by 14. We want about 1/4 of an inch thick. See, I'm just going to measure off of my sheet here. It has numbers on it. Let's see, there we go. That looks good. That looks good. Got about 5 to 6 tablespoons of butter, and I just really softened it down to where it's really pliable like this. And I'm going to slather it all over the dough. I don't mind getting up early and making these. I'm going to take some ground cinnamon and sprinkle it all over the butter. Nice and evenly, no big clumps. We want to cover it. For the sugar, you can use white granulated sugar or you can use a light brown sugar, which is what I have right here. So I'm going to take some of this. It's probably about a 1/4 cup or a little bit more. Sprinkle it all over the cinnamon. You don't want to overdo that. All right, I'm going to clean my hands off a little bit here. What you want to do is start on the bottom of the long edge and you're going to start rolling it. Now you want to start on one side, bring it all over, and you want to do this tightly. So just keep rolling. There we go. And then once you get a good start on it, then you can just roll. Just make sure it's all tight so it all stays together. So there's many ways that you can cut your cinnamon rolls out of here. My favorite that I like to use is some dental floss. When you're using dental floss, you want to make sure that you're using the original, no flavored dental floss. All right, so I'm just going to pull some out. I'm going to go up underneath the dough here and go all the way probably to the center. I'm going to cross both edges of the string. All right, that's what we have. Okay, so you can even use a pastry scraper and go down really quick with it. I've got a 9x13 baking dish. I'm just going to spray with some cooking spray. And then we're going to place our cinnamon rolls into the baking dish. We'll put the smaller ones on the end. There we go. Okay, we still have to rise these. I'm going to cover these with some plastic wrap. I was ready to turn on my oven. That's how ready I am for these. That's funny. Then we're going to do the same thing. There we go. I'm going to place a towel over it. Okay, I'm going to place these back in the microwave in a nice warm place, and we're going to let these rise for 1 hour. And then I'll be back. All right, we're in the home stretch. We are going to place these in the oven that I've got preheated at 375 degrees. These should take about 25 to 28 minutes. You want these nice and golden brown on the lighter side. Just use a toothpick and make sure that they go into the roll and comes out nice and clean. I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you how to make that delicious cream cheese vanilla icing that we're going to pour all over these. Okay, I just pulled these out of the oven at the 25-minute mark. Don't they look delicious? Oh, there's the bottom of them right here. Pretty hot. Okay, while those are cooling just for a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and make that delicious cream cheese and vanilla icing. I've just got a medium bowl. I'm going to place a 1/4 cup of cream cheese and 6 tablespoons of butter that I've softened up. Just bring it to room temperature. We're going to place that into the medium bowl. I'm going to take an electric hand mixer and I'm just going to blend this together until it's nice and smooth. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I've got 1½ cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to put it in about 1/3 at a time and mix that up. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of milk. the rest of the powdered sugar and probably another tablespoon of milk. Just going to scrape down the bowl. At this point, check your consistency. Do you want to pour on the icing or do you want to spread it on? I'm going to add in 1 more tablespoon of milk to thin this out. That looks delicious. I'm going to go in. Yes, cream cheese vanilla icing. Let's ice some cinnamon rolls. These look amazing. I want y'all to look. These are still a little warm, but look at that, nice and golden brown. There's brown sugar that melted out. Oh my gosh, with the cinnamon and the butter. I'm just going to take an offset spatula and I'm going to this icing all over these rolls. Okay, now I'm going to just slather it over the cover. It's going to melt. Don't those look delicious? I'm going to try one for you. Ooh, extra right there to pour on top of your cinnamon roll. What do y'all think? Oh, look at that. Look at the layers. I'm going to take a bite for you guys. We're going to see how fluffy this is. It's very fluffy on the inside, nice and soft, a little crispy around the edges. It's the perfect bite. And that delicious, delicious cream cheese and vanilla icing on top. You can't beat that. There you go, guys. Give me a thumbs up on this one. Comment down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way you'll always know when my shows are posted, like this one here. I will see y'all on my next episode.